Hi there again guys, Sheldon from Find It Archery Supplies back with another one of our bow reviews. I do apologise for my voice, just coming out of a cold, but we just received some of our new stock from Win & Win, and today we're going to talk about the Sebastian Flute Forged, Premium Forged Riser. This is the new colour out of Win & Win, or Sebastian Flute I should say, which is a matte grey. It is an absolutely beautiful finish. Flawless if you actually take a close look at that. Same with the other side. But I've seen a few of these risers now in different colours, and this is actually probably the nicest finish to get in this riser. It is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, we'll start with the handle. Hand grip on this isn't too bad, but probably a tad small. Would suit somebody with a smaller hand. I think somebody with a hand the size of mine might actually struggle with this a little bit to keep it in their hand. It's quite close. As you can see, I can wrap my fingers almost all the way around that riser there. From a shooting perspective, probably not the best thing in the world. I would dare say that most people that have these would have to build that grip up at the back to try and get that elevation so that they can get that thumb nice and flat. It's probably really the only real major negative to this riser is that grip size. It's just that tad bit small. But you know, as far as the limb pockets go, I'm very fussy about how limb pockets are and how they work and everything like this. Very similar system to the Win X riser in Win & Win's range. You've got your main tiller bolt and you've got your side adjustment there. So if you have a look at the pocket, as you can see, it's a shifting pocket. So it does give you a nice flat angle in. So it allows for a nice smooth transition from the limb into the pocket. However, I would say that if that was slightly out of alignment, you would have a little bit of difficulty getting that limb in. But we have nice big solid grub screws on the side. That way you can be assured there's probably going to be very little stripping there when you're trying to torque it up or twist it or get your bow a bit straight. This does sort of jump a little bit in the price range. These are in around the 200, between 200 to 300 mark, depending on where you get them in the world. But you know, it does offer you all the things that a riser should. It allows for bottom weight, top weight, middle weight, stabilization. There's also your clicker, your little clicker knob there as well. So you know, look, realistically, it's a very well made riser. It is starting to get a bit heavy for an aluminium riser of its nature, which is machined. You know, you would expect for a machine riser just to be that tad bit lighter, but it's definitely a nice solid feel. It's got a lovely shape to it. You know, you do see quite a nice arc to the bow. You know, I've shot one or two of these as well, and they're reasonably comfortable to shoot. Like I said, you know, there's not a lot wrong with this particular riser. It actually sort of suits a lot of purposes. It's just a little bit pricey for my liking. But look, as I say in all my reviews, it's just my personal opinion on this sort of stuff. But you know, from a shop owner's perspective, they are a very popular riser. We do sell quite a lot of them. You know, and the feedback on them is quite good, and most people do continue on with them for a few years. It would be about a 3-year to 4-year investment type of bow. So it's sort of getting up there with the Hoyt Horizon and the Samick Avanti, that kind of thing. It's actually probably closer matched to something like the Samick Athlete or the Win & Win Win X. Now, when you start comparing those three risers, it's probably at the tail end of the cheaper scale out of those three risers. But that's probably where this riser is going to sit, in that particular bracket there. But look, you know, if you're thinking about getting into the sport, wanting to spend a little bit of money on a premium riser, this is probably where you would start looking if you were after that kind of money. Like I said, you know, you're looking at around sort of the 250 mark to jump into something like this. But look, as far as we're concerned, it's actually a pretty good bow. It performs quite well. It has performed quite well. Know plenty of people who shoot them. You know, really, it's just a personal preference on this one. My only negative to this, as I said before, is that hand grip. It's just awfully thin. So somebody with a big hand, it's probably really not going to suit you. But somebody with a slightly smaller hand, so somebody, you know, anywhere under probably 5'6", 5'7", is going to have a slightly smaller hand, which will probably feel a little bit more comfortable on this. But I would say you would definitely have to build this hand grip up to get it just to be a little bit fatter. But look, guys, a lot of people do, just quickly, a lot of people do send me emails about shipping overseas. Yes, we do. We do ship overseas. It is a flat $50 fee, initial flat $50 fee, anywhere in the world, and then it goes up from there. So to send something like this to America on UPS or something like that, it would be about $55, $60 to send this to you. But we do sort of look after our overseas customers a little bit. We do tweak your pricing just a little bit to make it a bit more appreciative for you. But you know, the more you buy, the heavier it gets. Of course, the weight goes up and the cost goes up. But if also, we're always happy to take on your own freight carrier. If you have a preferred freight supplier, you give us your account details and we'll quite happily send your product on that account for you as well. But look, guys, the Sebastian Flute Forged Plus, it's a lovely riser, well worth the money. You know, I would be considering it if I was looking to get into this market. So, as far as we're concerned, great riser.